brothers, but now we fall apart at the seams. You remember when we would scream now? I'm sitting here with broken dreams. It wasn't a 30. We're buried in my way. You're not alone. It makes the sunny morning feel so cold. Fall apart at the seams. You remember when we killed for each other, but now I could have you here with me. It wasn't a 30. Buried in my way. You're not alone. It makes the sunny morning feel so cold, so goodbye. Things I'll have to say at another time. So long, farewell, goodbye. Things I'll have to say at another time. Things I'll have to tell you in another life.
And welcome to episode 4 of Guitar Tales. We've made it to 4, and there's many, many more to come. My name is Dave Cohen. I'm thrilled that we're in episode 4, and one of the things that I get to watch is I get to watch our great guests speak and sing before we go on the air. We have Dim from Honolulu. We'll talk about that in a minute, but I want to take this opportunity to again thank some important people in this production. First of all, Riverview Studios, fantastic. The studio, you can't see it. I'm going to point to something that the camera won't even pick up. It's okay. These studios are beautiful. We sit on the banks of the Delaware River. The interior is eclectic. It's beautiful. It's large. It's modern. It's solid state. It's HD. If you ever have any filming needs, come here. Look at this, the website, riverviewstudios.com. It's wonderful. I want to thank Scott, guitarist Engel. He's been promoting tonight's show, I just told you.
Yeah.
You're not even on camera yet, but you're answering me, which is perfect. We are very lucky tonight to have with us Dim from Honolulu. What I love about tonight's episode, for guitar players you might not have heard of, but you should have and you will, are people who have stories, guitar players who have stories. And my favorite thing about tonight's episode is that short of about a half hour, 40 minutes ago, we had never met.
No.
I already like the guy. I know he's a great guitar player. I know he's a great songwriter. I know he's a great singer because I've heard him sing and I've heard him play, and I learned that there are his songs. So welcome aboard tonight.
Thank you for having me.
I'm thrilled to have you.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to be here. Everybody's been very kind, and thank you for having me on this stage.
Absolutely, man. You know, you did a great job. So I loved your songs. You played 2 songs. The first song, I don't want to get the name wrong, is, let me look at my notes here. This is taking too long. It is So Long. It's funny, I said it took me too long to find the song So Long.
So long. Yeah.
The song we'll hear about later is Mill Hill Saloon. I've spent many a day, not many a night there, because when I go to court in Trenton, I would frequently end up at Joe's Mill Hill just to have a non-alcoholic lunch. But it is also a night spot, and
It
I
is.
guess you're a Trenton-based musician.
Yeah, the Mill Hill Basement is like our CBGBs.
Really?
Yeah, it's our home, our go-to spot, and for past how many years we've always had touring bands come through, and they end up loving the spot.
Been there for years. I told you before we taped tonight that my law school band, basically our bass player who took up guitar when I couldn't handle the priest because he's that good and I'm not that good.
Okay.
Tim Boney comes from the Trenton musical scene from years ago. So what I'm going to do is segue real quickly right now because we have a game to play.
Okay.
All right.
I'm in.
And then we're going to talk about you and about your music, about the 2 really beautiful guitars you both. I love the beat up guitar here.
Oh, thank you.
So 6 Degrees of John Bon Jovi.
Okay.
So here's the game.
All right.
Everyone on the planet Earth probably is within 6 degrees of this gentleman. And certainly in Jersey, you could probably get there in a few steps. Now,
Okay.
I know you don't have a 2-step way to get there. We talked about it, but how do you get there?
We
You can take multiple paths, by the way.
Okay. We play Asbury Park in Honolulu,
Okay.
in Alpha Rabbit, and the band I tour with, Doc Rotten, plays Asbury Park with some with regularity.
Right.
And there's another thriving scene out that way that incorporates into the Trenton scene. We all kind of work together, and venues like the Yacht Club or the Saint, Asbury Lanes some years ago, and also the Stone Pony.
So, all right, so we talked at length. I know you watched episode 1 with Scott Engel.
I
Scott,
did.
guitarist.
Guitarist, yes.
Yes. So you played the Stone Pony.
I have in past, yes.
Okay. Now I actually
Not recently, though.
No.
Yeah.
No, I know Bruce has played there a billion times. Has John
is
Bon
true.
Jovi played there? He must have, right?
I'm not sure. But
Okay.
I might defer to you on another path.
Okay, let me hear it.
For guitarist,
Okay.
his father was good friends with Tico Torres's mentor.
Or he was Tico Torres's mentor.
Ooh.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go. So that's.
You'll take the Dave route. Dave
I'll
to
take
Scott
Dave to Scott.
to Dad. All right, so Dave, Scott, Dad, John.
There
All
you
right, so
go.
get there at 4 steps. That's not bad.
All right. So I got 4.
And then you got some street cred because you're playing in the Stone Pony, which is where Bruce has played, and really Bruce is the one who made it famous. Whether John Bon Jovi has played there or whether you go through Bruce probably knowing the guy, you can get there that way. Okay, so that'll work. All right, very good.
Yeah.
So I have
Also Wonder Bar too.
Oh,
They
okay,
play
great.
there.
I'm sure they
I
both
play
play
there a lot more frequently than I've
Okay.
played the Stone Pony. Stone Pony is only occasional at best.
All right.
So.
Now, I know because I did a little bit of research going in, you are literally someone who's toured the planet, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about countries other than the United States you played in.
Sure. England, there were
right.
some visa issues, but
Oh, really?
I just got off a tour in September with Doc Rotten, who is also a Trenton-based band.
Okay.
But they travel everywhere. They were kind enough to ask me to help them out and
Okay.
fill in on tour in Japan.
That's crazy.
We did I think I did 17 shows in a row.
Really?
Yeah, and lived in Tokyo with those guys. And
That's fantastic.
I came home and my cheeks hurt and my stomach hurt from laughing and smiling. It was a very cool experience.
So that's amazing. So here's what I don't get.
Okay.
And my guess is most people watching this don't get, all right?
Okay.
So if you're, to use his name again, John Bon Jovi, right? If you're anyone whom all the people listening to us have heard of, I get it. The people watching get it. You'll get an invite to play in England. You're going to get an invite to play. Cheap Trick. You're wearing a pin. We have to talk.
I
about
got this in Japan too.
Did you really?
Yeah, I got my drummer in Honolulu Twisted Sister one as well because that was one of his favorite bands.
So now Cheap Trick makes
Yes.
Budokan famous, right? A billion years ago, right?
Okay.
But how does you're not famous. You're really good. We've
not.
watched you play. No. But how does someone who's
We're
just
famous
sort of
for the right reasons, right?
Right. But you're every bit as good as the people are famous, but you're not someone, whom everyone has heard of. I keep saying whom, but how does that occur? How do bands who are really good, who have wonderful original music, get invited to other countries to play?
Just playing
Really?
live, playing in bands, playing with other bands.
Okay.
I tour as much as I can.
That's so. Listen to that sentence.
And
I tour. How great is that?
I do, but I wish it could be. I wish that could pay the bills one day. But until then, you meet people along the way, and you never know who you're going to meet. You never know who's going to watch you.
So what's the demand? So let's say, you have played in England, right?
I was
almost. You were rejected because you had something in your bag.
I've been there a couple times for a couple festivals, and unfortunately, when it was time to play, my visa circumstances weren't in order.
I understand.
So.
That happened to, I think, Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about Japan.
Okay.
So you live in, not you, but one lives in Japan. What attracts them to see this band? How do they hear about you? How do they learn about you? Why do they go to the venue you're playing at?
It takes a village.
Okay.
There are tour managers involved. There are booking agents involved. There has to be somewhat of an interest.
Okay.
However, at the same time, as a DIY band such as themselves at this moment, Doc Rotten, and they'll break through. I'll put my money on it. But you have to go and still play the clubs.
And that's what I'm forgetting in all candor. So the first three guests we had on are folks in their mid-50s. You're 34, right?
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, you told me that, so I'm not that smart. But so you actually have the potential to quote make it, air quotes or literal air quotes. Like,
what has made it?
That's a great question. All right.
For me, I feel like I already made it.
I
get to have friends that are creative and talented. I get to handle my responsibilities and go do what I love, and an awesome support structure around me to do that as long as I can, hold up my end of the bargain.
You know what's great?
So.
I'm 20 years older than you, and you just, in a wonderful way, corrected my course. You're right, you have made it.
Yeah.
I mean, you really have. Because I'm listening to your music. And again, so right now, the way this show is structured, the folks watching at this point in the show will have heard one song, and soon they're going to hear another. All right? You're creating beautiful music.
Thank you.
And I mean that. Like, it's really good.
I'm digging it. I hope they do.
They can't not. And you've got people listening, people enjoying. And you're right. What, making it because you want to be in line with the Kardashians? Who gives a shit, right?
No.
That's what I mean. Like,
I really don't.
And you're saying you don't give a shit because
I don't. I'm not going to be, completely self-righteous and go, I'm not in it for the money.
Right.
To be able to pay a mortgage or to provide for your family with doing what you love, that's the American dream.
Right.
To be able to come to this country and do what you love and be able to provide for your family.
Right.
No matter where you're from, that's the dream. I feel like so much of that, and that's just not in recent time, but that's of all time. Right. People get greedy and they want the Kardashian money, or they want 10 years ago it was the Paris Hilton fame, or 10 years before that it was the Survivor fame or anything like that.
But you have the artistic piece of it already.
Yes.
It's funny. I had my kids in LA about 4 years ago, something like that. We're on vacation, and they begged me to take them to Nobu.
Oh, wow.
In Malibu, yeah.
The famous place.
Yeah, it broke the bank. So we're moving our table from too sunny, too hot to the shade.
Okay.
I get there first. They're sort of getting ready, and they're I guess 11 and 13 at the time.
Okay.
I'm sitting at a table and I'm looking this way, and I see this table full of people. I instantly hate them. I instantly look at them and think they're entitled jerks who don't appreciate the quality of the food they're about to eat. They don't appreciate where they are. I've developed all these judgmental opinions about these people.
Okay.
And I feel all this negative energy coming from the table. My kids sit down and like, oh my God, Dad, that's the Kardashians. And it was them. So all my instincts were right.
Also, I mean, there would be the flip side of making it too is
Yeah.
I can't go to the Mill Hill Saloon because, you know, if you're Kardashian famous or whatever that level of fame is that we've become so obsessed with, it becomes a gilded cage too. I can't go out to the grocery store. I can't, you know, there's a fine balance. So honestly, I mean, if I'm here right now, I think I've done all right so far. Knock on wood. You know.
Now, the other thing is that if you look at our heroes, Cheap Trick, I think Cheap Trick stopped when they should have stopped, so maybe they don't count. But let's say 8 years from now, you become uber famous.
Okay.
Do you think your songwriting and art will suffer?
No.
How come? Or what, better yet, let's make it positive. How and why do you think you can sort of be creative when maybe, let's say financially, life becomes easy and some of the stresses in life diminish?
Personally, I don't write a song sitting down at a table going, I am now going to write a song.
Okay, all right.
It's almost putting up an antenna and catching whatever it is. So if I were to be, you know, that level in 8 years, I'd still be sitting down at my table, putting up the antenna and
just
seeing
waiting to see
what
what
comes
happens.
out. Now, if it's happy or positive or whoever, that's all subjective. I mean, that would
works.
be more of the audience how they perceive it.
Right, and you're right, like I'm thinking, you made me think of Pete Townsend, a guitar and pen, right? Yep. So here he is, he's very successful, he's filling arenas, this is, he probably wrote it. The song comes out in, 78, 79. So let's say he wrote it in 77. He's at the peak of his fame.
Okay.
So he's sitting at the kitchen table that's metaphorically the same as yours. And
All right.
thinking, oh, wow, everything I write, it's already been done. How does the creative process work?
Ooh.
And he writes a song based on the creative process. So yes, he's rich, but he's still writing about something relatable.
Yeah, at the end of the day, as long as you're true to that process, you're going to adapt to whatever situation it is, be it happy or sad or angry or indifferent.
Right, and you're still going to have relationships that succeed and
Yes.
fail and fall in the middle and things like that.
I believe when Queen was first taking off, they got ripped off by a manager, and Freddie and company wrote "Death on Two Legs."
Oh, really?
So you can still make it and still have the trials and tribulations. It might just be in another emotional space that the circumstances right now don't necessarily apply to.
Now, what's your process? So we had Nixon's Head on last week, who were fabulous, by the way.
yeah.
They were great.
That's cool.
And we learned that Jim Slade writes most of the songs with the music.
Okay.
He's sitting here, and then Andy's sitting here, and they agreed. But then Andy did what they called, and I think objectively could be called the arrangements. And there was this whole discussion. I picked up on it with you, by the way, in your first song, So Long. I don't know. Actually, I didn't have to look. You did something similar to what they did. There was sort of a pause in some of your chord playing that I think took a moderately simple, wasn't that simple a chord progression, but a moderately simple chord progression. You added interest to it. Do you write alone or do you write with other people?
Both.
Okay.
Both. I'll put in, for example, So Long. We do with Alpha Rabbit.
Okay.
However,
Alpha Rabbit is the
Alpha
name of that
Rabbit.
band. Okay.
So that band consists of 3 complete songwriters.
Okay.
And sometimes we'll come with a song, or sometimes we'll come with a riff, sometimes somebody will come with a melody, or we'll just get together and it'll be complete grassroots organic.
So you
and
might
build it
literally-
from the top up. Yeah.
Let's go to the studio or let's go to your house and let's write a song. Or you're just hanging out and you're just tinkering around and the song exits that conversation.
Yes, or one of us could bring a song that's completely different when we introduce it. Mm-hmm. Pardon me, I'm sorry.
Nothing whatever you thought happened, I didn't see.
I'm on mic.
Okay.
Anyway, I could bring So Long to sound like that, and Electric, it doesn't sound like that because the other 2 stamp is on it,
Right.
and vice versa. So it's almost a 3-headed monster sort of approach with
That's
that
pretty
band.
cool.
With Hana Lee, it's been, my singer Tim Ho, he is primarily the songwriter,
Okay.
but he's not the whole songwriter.
Okay.
Mill Hill Saloon I actually wrote for the new record.
Now, speaking of that, you played it on acoustic. It's wonderful. It'll be a little. Actually, let's put it on the tape now. Let's put it on the tape now.
Cheers.
We were looking for. Here.
All right.
Hold on. Cheers. Cheers. I get wine. You get water.
Thank you.
So we were thinking of an organic place to put it. I love that song, and a couple of things about it. First, I get the sense that it plays really nicely electric too.
Yes.
Was it written for electric performance or was it written for acoustic?
It was written
Or neither?
both.
Okay.
I bet the more bands that I'm playing and the more utilitarian I get with songwriting.
Right. Now, another thing I noticed with that is I watched you setting up. There was a difficult suspended in there, right?
The desuspended. Yeah.
And I was watching it, and you hit it every time.
That's a Pete
You're
Townsend. That's actually a Pete Townsend move.
You were doing a little bit of Tommy in there too.
A little bit.
And I liked it a
Not
lot.
too much. I didn't want to rip anybody off,
No,
but
you
at the
didn't,
same
but-
time, there are nice touches to what he does. You know, you've always got the.
That's the one right there.
But he also hits a D. You know, you can hit D and do 3.
Right.
Power chord, you can go up there. But he
You were
didn't.
hitting nice suspendeds in Millhouse Saloon.
And
yeah.
then you hit the high note instead.
And I watched. Is it hard to do? Because I watched you were setting up before you hit the suspended.
When I first started learning that chord, it was incredibly hard.
It looked hard, yeah.
But now it's just look out to the crowd.
Yeah, because if you look at the space, like that's.
Yeah, and sometimes if you can hit that open string
Right.
and then go up.
Right. So it's funny. The last recording we had, Jim Slade ended a song like you did. He did a little.
Yeah.
One of those.
It adds a little je ne sais quoi to it, you know.
Yeah, it's nice though.
Yeah. Yeah, instead of like.
Right. Yeah, you watch for your drummer who's not sitting next to you because there is a drummer here.
I don't have a band to hide behind. You're right.
No, but I noticed that song seemed like it was great on acoustic, but it looked like it would play really nicely on.
It has, and for the upcoming Honolulu record
Yeah.
that we've just recorded at SRG Studios here around Hamilton and Mercerville, there was that's an electric version.
Okay. Now Honolulu, I told you in our pre-interview, our little pre-interview, that name sort of rung a bell for me. I'll just ask you, and we'll see if it's the connection I think it is. Where did you guys come up with that name?
All right. Well, I'm going to break your heart. I didn't.
Okay, but who did? Or do you know?
The band did.
Okay.
As time goes on and technology gets smarter and more advanced, coming up with a band name that hasn't already been picked or patented is a little difficult.
Oh, it's hard, yeah.
So I'm forgetting which band member did it, but based on previous interviews that we've all been a part of, I think Tim or Tony wrote it on a paper plate. They liked the way it looked, they liked the way it sounded, and then they did the search engine test.
And
nothing came up.
Look, you want to hear something fun?
So in the land of Honolulu, Puff the Magic Dragon.
Well, that's the connection I was hoping we'd find.
Okay.
My first dog, when I was, 2 or 3, was named Puff. He was named Puff after Puff the Magic Dragon.
Yep.
From the land of Honolulu.
The land of Honolulu.
So, because...
We named our van Puff the Magic Wagon.
Did you really?
The van of Honolulu.
Oh, I love that.
I've spent, when I talk about it, sometimes I'll say, I've spent, so-and-so plus years in the land of Honolulu.
Now, do you know the band?
Which one, Peter, Paul, and Mary?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
So when I was a little kid, you may or may not know this, they had an album called Peter, Paul, and Mommy, which was a kid's album.
Wow.
So I grew up with the album Peter, Paul, and Mommy.
Okay.
So as I was looking at, you sent me an email giving me a little bit of your history, and I thought, Hannah Lee, Hona, and I'm thinking of all these
We get that a lot.
pronunciations. Right.
Yeah, we do get that a lot.
And then suddenly it clicked with me. I'm like, oh my God, Hannah Lee, that's got to be the connection. And I made it a point not to specifically ask you before we started. So the universe put this show together because my first dog was named Puff.
Somewhere in the cosmos.
Yeah, somewhere in the cosmos.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about your guitar now a little
Sure,
bit.
man.
So I love this guitar. This is the second Martin on Guitar Tales, but it's very different from our first Martin. Big Daddy Abel had the first one.
That actually inspired me to bring this one. I saw it and went, oh, well, I can, choose from both fields.
It's a cool guitar, and the thing that I picked up on that thankfully I was right about, that's a graphite guitar.
It is. This is courtesy of Russo Music.
Really?
Yeah, in Hamilton, New Jersey. Those guys that's a great guitar store.
It's a wonderful guitar store, and that's a wonderful guitar. It's got great tone. And one of the things I liked about it, you let me play it a little bit before we went on, and
You
it
sounded good, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
thank
no
you.
problem.
It sounded great acoustically,
Okay.
but I didn't play it through the amp. When you did the number, as
The
we
number,
call it,
the tune.
right? The tune. It really through the amp, whatever kind of pickup is in there, it sounded really nice through the amp.
Thank you. I think it's a Fishman. It's
See, I don't know any.
as professional as I am.
You can
Hold
give
on.
me a million names for pickups for electrics. I don't know anything about acoustic pickups. So
Okay.
Fishman's a name I don't know.
I think it's a Fishman. Guys at Russo's, please forgive me if I'm wrong. I do believe it's a Fishman electronic. But yeah, this is it sounds great. I prefer out of an amplifier as opposed to if I'm
really?
if I'm playing acoustic.
Right.
Because there's so many different PAs. They're
Oh,
all
that's true,
it's all a
yeah.
crapshoot, and you
you don't
sometimes
want
you
to
can't get them from a line check. Sometimes you need to really get a sound, and that's an empty space,
Right.
whether it's a basement or a stage. And then next thing you know, if there's people, I hope there's people, but
Right.
that fills up in effects too. So having an amp that you can control within your grasp, as opposed to going,
Yeah.
"Excuse me, Mr. Soundman, may I have more in my monitor?" You
Right,
know,
and then that's the other thing is that's a guitar that's going to feed back much more than that because
It
the
is.
body is going to feed back.
it is, yes.
But so do you play live with acoustic as much as electric, or?
I have. The story behind this was that Mrs. Claus was very, very kind to me one year.
And who was behind Mrs. Claus?
That would be my lovely lady Jess.
Oh, very nice.
Her and her
very
family chipped in because I was gigging with an acoustic over a course of some time and opening up. Just solo acoustic for
Right.
different bands and in different
Right.
settings. And one of them was, I had a gig where I was playing outside for 4 hours at a time
nice. Okay.
up in New Hope at
Okay,
the
John
Bucks County.
Peters.
I'd done
Nice.
that. No, Bucks County Playhouse.
Oh, I know where that is.
Yeah.
That's
So
really
they would hold things in the courtyard, and I would
Right.
play for 4 hours. I got my chops up on it. But however, I was using a cheaper guitar, one that wasn't really projecting well,
Yeah, that projects nice.
and
so-
holding it in a. I would use a garbage bag to carry this.
Oh, really?
And yeah, I don't know whether it was pity or whether it was support or maybe a combination of both. Her lovely family and her, they all chipped in, and the guys and ladies and gentlemen at Russo's, were kind enough to bestow this upon me.
Now I'm not as big in acoustic as electric, but I've never seen a graphite acoustic.
They exist, but I've never had one up close. No.
Yeah, it's you look at it right away and I think, wait, I don't see any wood grain. Oh my God, is that a graphite?
And it
you
projects
play
wonderfully.
It plays really nicely, projects nicely.
It feels great too. And shout out to Matt Bernard and Jim Graziano at Russo's because they helped me acquire this, and they also do a wonderful job setting it up.
Well, that's the thing. You have a fresh set of strings on there, so
Yeah.
there's something about a fresh, not immediate because then they're stretching too much.
It's like
But
your
just a
it's
little
like your
after.
favorite jeans right out of the washer.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
Feels good.
Yeah. Guitar. So show us that difficult chord. Oh, there's
Oh.
the pick. In case I decide to play. Show us that D. It was further up the neck that you were doing it
So
from so long. And then you were no, there was something else. But you did that further up the neck. I thought maybe it was the second song you were doing it. It doesn't matter, but it was funny because I watched you setting up, and it's hard because you're doing it. There's cameras here, and you hit everything.
it's a whole nother planet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not live. I mean, it's
No,
live,
it's
but
not.
it's not live.
It's not. It's a different type of fun.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So that was a very cool song.
Thank you very much.
It was.
Yeah.
So that song. What was that song about? So long.
Well, not to be a downer, but
Okay.
I do write music, and if you put your antenna up, like I said,
Right.
sometimes it's not gonna all be happy. And I had a buddy pass away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He had some struggles, and
Okay.
we'll just leave it at that. And there was a line in that song that says, "It makes a sunny morning feel so cold."
Oh,
And
that's a beautiful line, though.
because his service was, it was in March, I believe, March or early April, about a year or so ago.
So this is raw for you.
And it was a beautiful sunny day, but it was freezing. And it was just, just the overall, I mean, the obvious, mood, but also being freezing and just having this coldness of the service, and it was just, so many different aspects of cold.
But I like your antenna metaphor.
Yeah.
Because you're going to march your way through life.
Yep.
And you're going to find certain opportunities where you can find beauty or solace
And
in a situation.
But you're going to meet a lot of people along the way that you have to say so long, farewell, and goodbye to.
Right. Yeah. He won't be the last, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. But it's a beautiful song, and I truly appreciated it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you
really
very much.
good. It's really good. I mean, I already saw your videos, so I had a good feeling about today. I want to switch gears and talk about this. I love
Thank
this
you.
guitar.
Thank you.
Yeah, so this is like your classic kind of beaten up guitar. We might have to power up the amp. I don't think the amp, you want to?
It's up to you.
Yeah, let's power it up. See if you're plugged in.
Oh, that.
You got it? Oh, all right. There we go. There we go. All right. So you have it dirty on there or you have it clean? We'll find out in a minute. All right, we're good to go. So this guitar, this is a great guitar. There we go. Now it's nice and dirty. So this is a Gibson Les Paul.
This is. I got this off of a very nice, wonderful coworker who was had to get rid of some, a lot of his stuff. I think this actually came from Russo's as well. I was thinking this was an 01. This was originally a backup.
I think it's older. I'm going to guess it's older. You know why?
Why is that?
I talked about this last open machine heads.
Oh, all right.
I think by 01 they were usually sealed. I could be wrong.
I'm not really sure, but I mean this has had some work, a new bridge.
Right.
The pickups are still pretty much the same, and I mean, in Alpha Rabbit, in Honolulu I was using this mostly on the bridge.
Right.
Just. And then in Alpha Rabbit I started venturing out in different.
That's a nice warm sound.
Yeah. You get a little bit middle.
All right, so this is a perfect segue.
Okay.
So episode 1, we talked about harmonics.
Okay.
So Scott, he did it a weird way. How do you do harmonics?
What do you mean the?
Or the?
What the?
Yes. Yeah. So I use the fat of my hand. I'm not particularly good at it because I don't play lead.
It depends, where you're hitting it on your on the string and in conjunction to closer to the bridge or the neck, you get a nice.
Well, that's
or
a good idea.
And also depending on the string. Now I'm not as good as the guitar assist, so mine's more not palm or technique, but more of a I hope this works.
That's a great guitar, though.
I don't employ it too much.
Now, were you more lead, rhythm, both?
In Honolulu, I play lead.
Okay.
However, it's a mixture of lead and rhythm.
Okay.
Yeah. Tim is more of a. And I'll do more of a.
That's a lot more work.
Yeah, and obviously the leads. I love to bass a lot of leads, and Tim Ho's actually come up with a couple of leads along with us.
Okay.
Where it's more of he's a very melodic singer.
Right.
So what I'll do is instead of just.
You can get by with that alone, like that. Like you can walk into just like a guitar shop, do that one quick lick, and walk away, and people are like, "Oh, he's a good guitar player."
It's usually sound check or line check.
Right.
But more if he sings a melody line, I'll try and start out with that.
Like George Benson style, or Peter Frampton. So you're gonna follow what he's singing.
To a degree.
Okay.
If the song calls for a bit more, instead of. Or maybe, right? But if you're doing that the whole time, that's kind of both. You got to find a nice balance, and it's also in service of the song.
Right.
What's your bass player playing? Are you playing over him? What's your drummer doing?
Right.
Do you want it to be more? And then hit in along with the drum beat, or do you want to follow your singer's melody?
Right.
And if it's a singer like Tim Ho,
okay,
he's got some good melodies.
Now, are you someone who does your band try to sort of go down with the dynamics when the singer goes, and you go up when the singer's off?
Yeah, more abouts. Right. So there's some songs that are a bit more straightforward.
Okay.
But even like I Hate My Job, you do.
Yeah, you just read my mind. Show me how to play that.
So you're starting out and you're just. hate my job. And just kind of, it really sucks, I hate my job.
That song was so cool.
Just let it
was
ring.
Sort of like romantic-ish a little bit.
That was those guys had that song when I was first joining. And that was one of the caveats of me joining Hanley. I was like, we got to finish that song.
Oh, so it wasn't
It was about
done?
halfway done. They started playing it out a little bit live, and I remember, I forget who it was, I think the original guitarist had this harmonica part.
Right,
And we all
right.
decided to keep the harmonica part. So our bass player who doesn't play harmonica was in the studio through a guitar amp, hitting the harmonica.
Right.
And we just tightened it up from there and actually finished out the song, and it became.
Well, it's a great video. Now, what was the process of getting that video done? In other words, you see, you had the song.
Okay.
Right. Who did you contact? How does the process work? Because that's a professional, I think, high-end video.
That was Tommy Avalon,
Okay.
who was a director. He is now absolutely blowing up.
Really?
He's done a great job. Tommy Avalon is a director of I Am Santa Claus. He did Ghost Heads. He just did
wanna
one
talk
on
about that in a
Waldo
minute,
Weed.
yeah.
He's done and years upon years ago, we all knew each other.
Right.
I mean, the guys in the band more so than I, as far as Tommy went. But he had had a guy that he was working with who actually, I believe he still does work for the Philadelphia Phillies. Michael Lasizen in Mixed Nuts Production.
Okay.
And so Tommy and Mike hit us up. They heard the song. We'd been able. At the time, we played it on YSP. We were playing it on MMR. We were playing it around a lot. We had a lot of.
You
lot
sing
of really.
on it or is someone else
I
sing?
do. I sing backups though.
I'm going to put you on the spot. Give me a few bars of it.
Oh, okay.
Even without a mic, let's just do it. I know you're up for it. There you go.
So na 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 na. Everything is exactly the same. Na 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 na. Gotta do it if you wanna get paid.
I knew you're up for it. It's such a catchy
Having
song.
fun.
It's such a great little song. It's fun.
Thank you.
It's got a great melody. It's got like a sort of a classic riff going on.
Tim did great on that one. He really did. Yeah, he took the words, man. I think who doesn't? Like I was saying before, you make it, you do what you love.
Yeah. It's a great song.
Yeah.
So you've got, Hana Lee does that song? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now who does I want to say Ghostbusters. It's not Ghostbusters. What is it?
Ghost Heads. That is also Honolulu.
All right. So you guys scored a song for a movie?
We did. We did a couple, but the most recent one has been Bill Murray Stories, which Tommy Avalon just did, and he was the one who directed Ghost Heads. We also have a video for that one.
Wait, so Bill Murray?
Bill Murray Stories, yeah.
All right. So Bill Murray is in the guy from Ghostbusters, or a different Bill Murray?
Oh, Bill Murray, yeah.
The one we know.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was in our video, but yes.
All right. So
yeah, but it was a documentary about the random Bill Murray sightings that happen in cities.
Oh, really?
He'll just randomly show up at somebody's wedding, or he'll randomly just bartend somewhere, usually around Chicago or New York or LA or something.
Because he was a Second City guy before SNL.
Yes, he was. So that was the Windy City.
Right.
Windy Apple.
Right. Oh, that's funny.
But yeah.
So that was a movie, or was it sort of a documentary kind of thing?
That would be a documentary.
There was a song. I'm picturing in my head. There were 6 or 4 icons. Top left was Ghostbusters itself. What was that song? I really liked it.
That was Ghost Heads.
Oh, Ghost Head. I keep saying.
Yeah.
All right. So how does that song go?
Oh. My apologies to the boys.
Right.
Always in my head, 24/7, 24/7. Always in my head, 24/7, 24/7. Ghost Heads.
That's perfect.
And that was,
You know what I hear in that a little? I hear a little.
Tim is a great singer when it comes to that.
your guitar.
Oh yeah, here. You
What I
gotta,
like-
you gotta turn up the bridge pot. That guy right there.
Bridge part right there. This is.
You want to pick?
I got one. But first of all, that's a great song.
Thank you.
It's catchy. It's got like, it's not. I don't mean it in a rip-off derivative kind of way, but it has that Green Day kind of vibe to it.
That's fine with me.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's worse comparisons in the world. Right. This guitar is. I love it. It's got. I think we're on the right camera here. Here we go. There. So you've got the worn out little areas here from
got
all the
love.
playing. It's got love. You got a little sticker. And I love how imprecise it is. You even got this bad boy going on here.
It used to be a
Right.
sticker there, yeah.
And for a Les Paul, it's incredibly light. I mean,
It
this
is.
thing weighs nothing.
I really feel like it's chambered.
What do we have
I'm
back
not
here?
really sure though.
Foo Fighters, you got a Foo Fighters thing back
Oh
here?
yeah,
It's cool. I mean, it's a very nice guitar.
one of my favorite bands.
There we go. No, it plays great.
Thank you.
It plays
Sounding
really
good.
nicely. It plays really nicely. It's got a great sound.
How's it feel?
It feels great.
Yeah.
It's got a fast neck. This one, you could breathe on these strings, and you don't even have to touch the strings to play it. It's the
I like
action
them low.
size.
I like them low.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got great action. Yeah, this is a very, very playable guitar.
Thank you. I couple that with a Les Paul Custom that I also was lucky enough to grab from Russo's.
And you said your other one is just as light as that.
It is. It's a Les Paul Custom thin line, so it's about half.
Yeah.
So, but it's a solid slab, but it's about equivalent in weight, maybe a little heavier. And I'll use that for a primary for Hana Lee. This is more the primary guitar for Alpha Rabbit nowadays.
I like it. I mean,
I mean, I'll use both as
Yeah.
in tandem, you know, because
Right.
God forbid you break a string.
now
you
you
know?
told me coming in that was your replacement for an ES335.
Yeah, which I still have.
Right. Which is that is like iconic.
Yeah.
Guitar.
Well, I saw it because originally one of
Is yours an Epiphone or a Gibson?
Gibson.
Really?
I saved my hard-earned bucks when I was a younger man, and
Dude,
I
you're still
I wanted
young.
something. I started out in punk bands, and I was playing these guitars that they weren't staying in tune. They were
Yeah.
cheap. I was getting them for a song.
Right.
And
metaphorically speaking.
yeah, yeah, no pun intended.
Right.
And I saw the 333 on the wall, and I went, well, I don't want a Les Paul all of a sudden, so I started playing it. And then I just started gigging with that in my old punk bands.
So let me ask you this. What is next on your personal horizon or your professional/personal horizon?
Right now, there's a tentative to go back on tour with Doc Rotten and do Europe.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to getting in the studio with Alpha Rabbit.
Okay, so let's talk. I want to cut you off.
Okay.
So you've got, because I want to make sure we're clear for everyone listening. So you've got, I'm looking at the camera here. You've got 3 bands. You've got Hana Lee.
Hana Lee.
What's the next name?
Alpha Rabbit.
Alpha Rabbit. And what's the next name?
Doc Rotten.
Doc Rotten. So Alpha Rabbit, Doc Rotten, and Hana Lee. 3 albums. How do they find you if they want to look for you on the internet?
Oh,
The
anyway.
World Wide Web.
The World Wide Web, just put it in the search engine. They're going to be the first things that come up.
Okay,
Or at least one of the first things. I mean,
Okay.
Doc Rotten is available on Spotify and Apple Music. Alpha Rabbit is also available on Spotify and Apple Music. We're just all a click away, and same with Hana Lee.
All right, good.
Yeah.
And now they can get there through Guitar Tales because you're on our
Yeah,
site.
we're on Facebook, we're on Bandcamp, we're on YouTube, we're on any platform that you want to check out. Check us out.
I've heard you before, so I'm listening to Joe's Mill Hill Saloon.
Yeah.
Or is it just called Mill Hill Saloon?
Mill Hill Saloon.
And
However,
I'm thinking I'm going back because I'm old, but I'm going back to '78 when Pete Townsend said rock is dead. And I've
Yeah.
had many people since then say that, and I'm listening to you, and I'm thinking, no, it's not dead.
I don't
'Cause
know. It's not dead.
I've got 20 years on you, and I'm
not as
listening to you, and you're a young rock guy.
Okay.
And you're playing rock. Do
Yeah.
you think rock is dead?
No.
Dying, weaker, just as good,
No,
just
I
as
think
vibrant?
I think it's just as good. It's in a different context. Like you said before about the level of fame.
Right.
That's not associated with guitar-based music at the moment because a lot of I feel like I attribute it to many things. Downloading, streaming, and things of that nature. I feel like rock has been a little slower to get over to that, as opposed to some, a hip hop artist that can download a song on SoundCloud and get millions of hits and streams
In a week.
However, though, that same hip hop artist might not fill a hall the same way that rock band or that country band is, or whatever other band,
someone who's
or
string-based.
or a DJ spinning electronic.
Because
is
the
gonna
DJ
do
has
that.
a skill set that they don't have.
Yeah, they're playing in front of 40,000 people.
Right.
Yeah, so
Wait,
the
hold
definition
on.
of rock star, I think, is in a different. It's in different genres and musical vernaculars at the moment, and I feel like there's still hope. Nothing's hopeless. I wouldn't.
Right.
And even if it was,
That's
I enjoy
okay
it.
too. It's okay
So-
too. But are there?
But I'm not
DJs
aiming for that.
Are there DJs who can fill a stadium with 40,000 people? I don't even know
Absolutely.
this. Really?
Diplo, Deadmau5, you name it.
Names I don't know.
Mark Ronson, you know.
That name I do know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, you know, but I mean that's always existed, you know. And I
Yeah.
feel like it only will make anybody who's in a guitar-based anything, like a definition of rock and roll band to me isn't exactly tight. I mean, you look at Vampire Weekend, or you look at the Struts, or you look at, you know, for better or for worse, any you know, any band like that.
Right.
That you still have guitar-based, and
Right.
but it also is maybe going to make those guitar bands that maybe had a degree of complacency make a better record.
Yeah, and they have to
If
step
that's
up
gonna
their game.
if that's gonna step up the Foo Fighters game, absolutely. Give
they
me
st-
another Wasting
Right.
Light.
Are they still relevant?
They are.
Okay, what
They
about-
are, but I mean, you're getting older. You can't rely on U2 and Foo Fighters, or even
Well, I love you too. But
or
that-
even Kings of Leon now. But there's been a lot of mainstream rock that I just didn't like at the time in the 2000s. So I went the punk rock and indie way because I wasn't into the mainstream rock and roll bands.
What
So-
about Royal Blood? Have you heard of them?
I've heard of Royal Blood.
They're fantastic.
You know, and you have Ghost, you have St. Vincent, you have, like I said before, the aforementioned Struts or Greta Van Fleet, who's not my cup of tea, but they're obviously somebody's cup of tea if they're, you know, doing what they're doing.
But you know what I love too? Like, I'm 55, you're 34, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've got a 34-year-old who sees it as wonderful to play a beaten up old Les Paul.
Yeah.
That gives me hope
Oh, yeah.
that guitar-driven rock and roll is still, if it's not,
It's just gonna be in a different form, or it might be in a different format.
right,
It'll adapt.
I think it will.
Yeah. No, it's not going to be what anybody remembers, but I mean, Eddie Van Halen wasn't exactly what's, you know, Jim was remembered from Jimi Hendrix.
Right,
And
right.
Jimmy wasn't really remembered from what, you know, Django Reinhardt was, you know.
Right, or,
you go back. You just got to move forward.
Hooker and-
Yeah. John Lee or Muddy or Howland, you know, or Hubert Sumlin, you know.
Or who's the first guy at the Crossroad?
Robert Johnson.
Robert Johnson, yeah.
Well, even he learned from Son House. Even he learned from Mike Zimmerman, you know, so, yeah.
Have you ever been to the Crossroad?
I've never.
driven
I've been
by
at many crossroads in my life, but
Right, but not the literal where the devil made the deal with him.
oh no, I'm sure there's a Hard Rock Cafe there now, so I'm okay. I'll just pass on through and play a show.
Yeah. All right.
There's a little place some of us go when we need some time on our own. Seems like lately it's getting on. Too many people all alone. I've seen her down the Minnesota. I've seen her down the Minnesota. I've seen her walking out on her own. I've seen her walking home all alone. Down the Minnesota, Minnesota. She gets in a fight with those who know, calling her on now for what she owes. She walks out on everyone she calls a friend, takes it right back to where it began. Where can I I've seen her down the Minnesota level. us go when we need some time. I've seen her down the middle so low. I've seen her down the middle so low. I've seen her walking out on her own. I've seen her walking on all alone. Down the middle so low. Middle so low. Middle so low. Down the middle so low. Middle so low. Down the middle so low.
I'll tell you what, this has been fabulous.
Yeah.
On all these shows, the time flies by. We've been chatting almost an hour, believe it or not.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's what I mean. This has been wonderful. People will find you. We have the 3 bands. We have Hana Lee. I have a mental block. We have
Alpha Rabbit.
Alpha Rabbit
And Doc Rotten.
and
Doc Rotten.
Doc Rotten. Okay. It's been wonderful having you on. I really
Hey, thank you
appreciate
for having me.
it. Absolutely, man.
This is really
great.
cool.
You played great. Your songs are great. I
Thank
really
you, man.
enjoyed it.
Thank you.
My name is Dave Cohen. This is Guitar Tales. We have so many more great shows lining up. We have other wonderful guitar players who are going to be on the show with us. You could find us on guitartales.com. You could find us on Facebook. Someday maybe I'll migrate to Instagram. I don't quite understand it yet, but we'll get there at some point. We have a YouTube channel. I want to put special thanks out to Scott, guitarist Engel. He'll promote your show.
Aye.
And really, most importantly, more important than even Scott, is riverviewstudios.com. We really appreciate all the great work you've done, the fabulous production, all the people who are doing our shows for us here. And I just want to thank everyone. We really appreciate it. Have a great time. We'll see you next time on Guitar Tales.
Mama told me, yeah, she told me.
You have to tell me the chords out
Oh,
loud.
here. B,
Okay.
F,
Wait,
F
which
sharp, B.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we start with. Okay.
Start with B. Go down to here.
Okay.
She also told me, stay away, you
really
never
bad at
know what
memorizing
you'll catch. And then you go up. Just the other day I heard of soldiers falling on an Asian junk that's going around.
All right, read out the chords for me one more time. I want to learn this again.
B.
All right, so from the very beginning.
Okay, here we go. 1, A, B, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, A, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, B, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, B, A, E, B. Yeah, there you go. Now go to E.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. Some Indonesian junk that's going around. Mommy's alright to 4, daddy's alright. Just seem a little weird. Surrender.
This is always my weakest thing. I couldn't
yeah?
memorize any friggin' songs.
You got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
But it was the second hardest song we did. It's not even hard, but it's.
It is.
It was, and then we did, Spirit of the Radio?
I do not myself,
Okay.
but.
That was the hardest one we did. Because then with all the breaks.
Yeah.
But when he would do the, I would shut off my volume and pretend to hammer.
Yeah, I can't do
And people thought I did it. It was
Oh,
so great.
well, there you go.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
This is a great show, man.
Thank
you.
you.
Did great. You did a very
Thank
good
you.
job.
I feel a lot better.
you should feel really good
Cool.
because you did a great job.
Thanks for your help, guys.
In 2020, our face-to-face world came to an abrupt end. As we entered the new reality of virtual production, Riverview Studios continued to deliver our clients' messages to audiences around the world. Like when Riverview streamed Anne-Marie Slaughter to Channel 4 in London, or Nobel laureate Paul Krugman live to a COVID-19 conference in South Korea. We streamed First Lady Tammy Murphy and a New Jersey Business and Industry Association CEO Michelle Sikirka in the Princeton YWCA's Tribute to Women. Former White House Chief of Staff Rahm Emanuel joined former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie for a live event broadcast from Riverview. Each month brought new challenges and thousands of new viewers on multiple platforms as Riverview rose to meet the needs of our global clients at an unprecedented scale. We streamed business leader Jack Perkowski to CGTN TV in Beijing, China, and celebrities like Joe Piscopo to events for Catholic Charities and New Jersey's American Academy of Pediatrics.
The American Academy of Pediatrics.
Over 50 live productions in the past 2 years. Riverview Studios, keeping our clients connected. And we had a little fun along the way.